Today, I want us to talk about a particular topic that is affecting most couples when they come to the US. And I feel it is mostly, by most part, directed to spouses of nurses coming to the US. And I want to say that it is more leaning towards men. So if you are a man and your wife is preparing to come to the US as a nurse, okay, this is for you. Tune in, listen to the end. And if it's something that you feel is going to help somebody, please share. Okay? So I say this because I feel like when nurses are coming to the US, and by nurses I mean mostly lady nurses who come to the US, the agencies do not really put an emphasis on their spouses. I feel like the emphasis more is about you as the nurse, you as the employee who's coming to the US. And unless you prepare your family well enough, you'll find that there's a huge gap that can easily bring problems, challenges, and you may not enjoy the US experience at all. So there are a lot of adjustments that people have to make when they come to the US, especially if you have a family. Today, we are not talking about culture shock. That is an adjustment, but not today. Today, we are not talking about food that is different. That's another adjustment, but not today. We are not even talking about the weather. No, I think that one, you know, and there's nothing much you can do about it. Today, we are not even going to talk about the culture shock. No. We are not even touching about the need for you to be comfortable talking English for long periods of time because of the people you'll be interacting with. No. Today I want us to narrow down to the family setting, the home setting, outside all other things. Now it is you and your spouse and the kids. What are the major adjustments you need to make, especially as a man? I understand we are in a woke generation. Woke in the sense that the duties that used to be for female, men do them. I'm talking about the house. But is it true that in some homes, men do not wash utensils? It's true. Is it true that in some families, men do not clean up after the babies? True. Is it true that men do not nurse or babysit babies in Kenya or in Africa? It is true. Okay? So you'll be surprised that there are some areas in Africa or in Kenya, where I come from, where men just spend a few couple of hours with their kids, especially when they're young. He comes from work in the evening, he finds the kids are already either asleep or about to go to sleep. And during weekdays, they barely meet. And in the weekends, maybe on Sunday or Saturday, a few hours. And there's a very important person in between who is making men, for most part, not be able to participate in the care of their young ones. And that is the house helps. These house helps, they come in to fill in the gap. And in some situations, we even realize that those house helps, they take a big portion of the young one's life, even as compared to the mother, because of how busy the world has been or is getting. So we understand. So when you come to the US, that important figure is out of the question. That house helps is out, okay? So you find yourself, you've been married 4, 5 years, 10 years, you've never stepped into the kitchen to cook because the house help is there. If the house help is not there, the wife is there, you know. So you find yourself, maybe you'll just be showing up, a few times, maybe to make some tea or for most part. But now when you come here, it is important to know that this important figure is outside the equation. And your wife, who's coming as a nurse, already has a job, and she's going to be the breadwinner for a couple of months until you settle down, you get yourself situated and able to continue with you being the breadwinner. By breadwinner, I mean somebody who is footing major bills, like 90% of the bills. Okay? Because for most part, when people come to the US, they have to make sure their papers are in order. They may need to even go back to school, because for most part, what you did back home is not recognized here. But for that nurse, for that lady nurse who came, she already has a job which is fairly well paying. So she'll be the one able to support the families. Are you seeing where I'm going with this discussion? Correct. So you've arrived. Back home, you have a house help. So you've never interacted with the kitchen. Wake up in the morning, you realize that your spouse has left because she has to report to work by 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. Let's say 7 a.m. Okay. So now maybe you have young kids. All right. Now you have to do some adjustments, and you have to do some adjustment to learn or to remind yourself how to prepare meals, wash utensils, look after those babies until the evening. That is going to be the order of the day. It may seem so easy when I speak these things, but unless your mindset changes when you get here, you may feel like your purpose is changing. You may feel you're not helpful. You may feel like your life is stopping. Okay? So at home, things like the house chores, you have to take them up. I mean, if you want peace, imagine a scenario, you stay at home, the wife works hard, comes in after 12 hours, maybe 8 p.m., and then she finds the whole day's utensils are still in the sink. The babies have not been washed or bathed. The clothes are still lying there. The house is in a mess. My friend, ile kugombana, mtagombana kwa hiyo nyumba. It will be the worst experience. And you see, there's nobody to tell these things. Huwezi piga home kuongea na majamaa wako, mabeshte zako, things, tables have overturned. They won't understand. They won't, nasema umekaliwa. Oh, but these are the things we do here as men. We do them here. All right. Back home, I didn't have a house help, and we didn't have a lot to do. Like, I didn't find it really hard to adjust, because even home, having no sister from our nuclear family, we were raised to do these things. So I'm talking about people, most men, who in their entire life, they have had somebody who comes in between. Maybe zile siku zenye alikuwa single, ndiye alikuwa anafanya tu vitu hapa na pale. All right? So another thing that is very crucial about this is openness, communication. You have to be, you have to go, it has to be, you have, both of you and your spouse, you have to be on the same page. Remember, when you are here, you have left people home, and there's some relatives who like taking advantage of you guys when you get here. Okay? So you'll have somebody who's gonna call you, say, oh, we have a funeral, you need some money, and then your spouse sends. And then the same person comes to you. You get what I'm saying? It happens, by the way. So if you're not having a if you're not having a good communication, you'll find that you are doing the same thing twice. What for? You have to be open, you have to communicate, you have to say, this is what we are doing. Okay? This is what we are doing. I'm planning to buy some piece of land somewhere, and this is what we are doing, so that you can go in one pace, the same direction. We've had, unfortunately, we've lost some nurses, and some are under unclear circumstances. Yeah. And I was thinking in my mind, if this man, for example, if you're a man coming to the US, and then you're the breadwinner, you have their financial muscle, okay, so you can run projects without even your spouse knowing, and then you end up passing on. It happens. You are very far, okay, maybe it's a few friends back home who know that you bought a piece of land somewhere, okay. Do you know it can disappear just like that? Yeah. You have invested in some circles, and nobody knows, and you are here, my friend, that money just disappears. So communication, being open, it's going to be your friend at this point, okay. And when we talk about support, ladies, when you come to the US, you need to support your man 100% without asking questions, because their confidence squarely lies on you. For a few months, if not years, this man will be depending on you, from small things to big things. So you are at a position to either support him or break him. Nobody is gonna do that for you. Okay, by support I mean this. This man may need to go back to school. Okay, so when he goes back to school, you may have to come in. I know there are grants here and there. You may need to come in to support him in that manner. This man may need, or he will need a car after a few weeks, a few months, and because he has not built his credit score, he's gonna rely on you to maybe go take a loan for him, and then he will finance it. So there are so many things that need financial assistance, okay. So you won't be the person who goes on his back to tell people back home, huyu mwanaume afanye kitu yote hapa, mimi ndio nalipa hii, mimi ndio nafanya ile, mimi ndio nafanya ile, and then eventually somehow it goes around and comes back to him. You'll have broken him, and that is not fair. And that that is two-way, honestly, because if in Kenya the man who maybe had a good job, he was the one providing for and everything, if he was mistreating that lady and now tables are overturned, we unaweza kipata. Lazima watu wasamehane, wasema sasa mali tumefika, it is me and you and the kids. And let me tell you, if there's a place where parents are close to kids, is this place. As I've told you, without that house help, and kids have to be taken to, there are no boarding schools. I told you that, right? There are no boarding schools. So you cannot escape your role as a father, as a mother, to take care of the kids that you've given birth to. From age 0 to age whatever, 18, when the kids go to college, they are under your roof. Okay? Nadhani ile Kenya tumezoea ukifika class 5 boarding school, class 8 high school, you know, so anakuja home 2-3 months. Here you are staying with them the entire time. Yeah, those kids need to be taken to school if they are school going kids. You have to take them, you have to go pick them up, and if you are using the school buses, somebody has to be available at home to receive them kids that just can't come in an empty house. You can easily be reported, by the way. So those adjustments make you close to your family, to your kids. And that's why you don't find men hanging out like in Kenya. You know, people get off from work and they wanna go to a bar somewhere, you know, with friends and talk. And it's not easy here because people are busy. My friend, people are busy. People are trying to rush after time. People have like 2 jobs, trying to make ends meet. So if you're that guy who is always dependent on some outside friends, may take you a while to actually get a group of people that goes hand in hand with you and your thought processes. Okay, so I felt that we should shed some light on these issues so that usikue kama ule jamaa. Kuna ule jamaa mwenye asubuhi, they were thinking in their 40s. Jamaa alikuwa anafanya vizuri kule home Kenya. He was a breadwinner. I don't know which kind of job he used to have, but for some reason when he got here, he could not get a job easily. Okay, and so in the first few weeks, the lady goes to work in the morning, comes back in the evening, anapata vyombo ziko pale, watoto wanalia njaa, nini kugombana, you know, so there's no peace in the house. And this man could not find a way to adjust because yeye na jikoni, yeye na watoto. So it took a toll on him. And that man one day just woke up. I may not know the full story, but he woke up, took his passport and bag ya mgongo, bag, and he left. He left the kids there, and he never came back. Alisikika ako Kenya. And it can happen, bana. It can happen because it can be stressing, and you're not able to maneuver through and internalize and process. You may feel so depressed and say this is not a place for me. And that's where support comes in. Sit down now, it's you and your family. You try to make the best out of this place. And I feel like even to the guys I've talked to, we have a few friends here whose wives are nurses. They have the same conversation. Support, man. If you can't be supported, man, life will be harder and harder for you. Okay, so I hope that sheds some light. I hope that helps. I hope that as you plan to come here, you have those conversations with your spouses. Musiwache in the dark, because the agency will always be reminding you about culture shock, telling you about this, telling you about that, and you leave your spouse behind. He has no idea. He's just excited to come here. All right, nitafika huko nitajipangia nikiwa huko. That is the common notion that we say. And then they get here and they are not only shocked about all this outside stuff, in the house, in fire. Then you come to hear, people are not in good cohesion, yeah. So inakuwa tena sasa kukuja huku badala ikuwe baraka, sasa inakuwa ni mashida tupu, ni vita left, right and center, just because somebody didn't get to sit down and internalize and process these adjustments here and there for you to move forward. Let me know what you think about that. If there are any stories surrounding that, let us know in the comment section so that we can continue these discussions in our lives na mambo kama hayo. All right. And by the way, guys, we formed a WhatsApp group of guys who have already done NCLEX. These are the things that we discuss. in such groups. Outside hizi vitu zingine za aya 140 and everything, these are the conversations that need to be spoken of. So there's a WhatsApp group. You just need to inbox me. Let us know. Let me know if you're interested in doing a WhatsApp group of post NCLEX where people just meet, just to converse, just to encourage each other and stuff like that. And there's one more that we recently formed as of pre-NCLEX. If you have not done NCLEX and you are in the process of studying for NCLEX and you need a community of people who are in the same, caliber, please also go ahead and let us know. That way we can include you in that so that we can go all together. All right. Until next time, peace.